Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to another episode of F1 Manager, Season 3 of our Williams career. It's round 17, we're heading to the Marina Bay circuit in Singapore, and I'm really hoping that this week we have a better week than we did last week, where we had a lot of mistakes from our drivers across both campaigns that we're running here. Very, very weird week last week. It's just mistake after mistake after mistake from our drivers. Just a very, very bizarre week. And hopefully that's all in the past and this week we'll be back to regular driving. We'll have to see. Obviously we have no control over when they're going to bin it, but I'm hoping that we kind of got all the bad luck rolled up into one quick ball and thrown out the window now, so we'll have to see. We are continuing to do the last to first challenge for Williams for the remainder of the season, because it's far too easy for us at this point, starting at the front. We have still won every single race that we've done this last to first on so far. We did it at Spa, we did it at Zandvoort, we did it at Monza. We've won all three of those races. I'm expecting another win here today as well, especially considering that we do get safety cars here a lot. Not sure what the weather's like for this circuit though. Let's have a look, see if it'll show it to us. Yeah, we've got perfect weather. Oh no, I'm looking at Bahrain. It's not going to tell us, not until we get to the Grand Prix itself. So that's a bit of a shame. Can't tell in advance, but let's have a look. Do we have research that's coming in before the Grand Prix? We do. We've got a chassis that is due to finish in 14 days. So I think it's time for us to advance a little bit of time. Evening Jason, evening Anthony. Good to see you guys. And we've got the results of the financial regulations vote. We voted to keep the cost cap and not increase it. Let's see how the rest of the grid decided to vote. Oh, it's going up. It's going back up. It was a 50-50 vote, and the FIA decided to throw their tiebreaker for the let's increase the cost cap argument. So let's just have another look. Who voted against it? Ferrari, Red Bull, us, Haas and Alfa Romeo voted against it. Aston, AlphaTauri, Alpine, Mercedes and McLaren all voted for it. Alright. Underfloor. We got a spare one. We're okay. Don't need to worry about that. And there's our chassis project done. Our boardroom is in poor condition. It's in the middle of an upgrade, so I'm not too worried about that. Let's go to staff. Let's have a look. We've got some points available to spend with our guys here. Going to boost the suspension. How far away are we? We're a week and a bit away from Diego Tondi getting a point. We do have a point for Pierre. There we go. Got a point for Ollie. Start work on his cornering. How's the pit crew looking? Still a bit of work to do on wing adjustments. Car release also needs to be improved. So let's get a new project underway for next season's car. So I've got 4. Wow, I've done 4 projects on the chassis already. I didn't realise I'd done 4. Wow, okay. Yeah, we need to do some research on other parts. Do I have hours available? not for another 35 days. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a suspension. We want to optimize cooling for next season's car. And this is, as I say, this is for me, because this series will be finished by that point. Let's see. I can go with 6 engineers, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with 3. Can always add more engineers to it. Oh, can I do another part as well? Oh, yes, our design center's done, isn't it? So I can do an extra part. Okay. Let's have a look at the front wing then. In fact, before I do anything else, let me go back to that suspension project and take 2 engineers off that. And let's start a front wing research project. Evening, Mr. Water. Good to see you. And let's throw on 5 engineers for that. So that'll be 58 days, which will be just after Abu Dhabi. Okay, that works for me. Alright, there we go. So we've now got 4 projects on the go. Fantastic. Next year's car should hopefully be pretty beefy. Got some scouting results back. Getting some contract details on Lance Stroll, who is being paid 3.2 mil, apparently. He's still got another 27 months on his contract. Zhou. I'll have a look at Zhou's stats, see how he's coming along. Look how evenly this guy's points are being distributed. He is a really solid driver, looking at these stats. 82 on cornering, braking and reactions, and accuracy and control. Smoothness 83. And these are great stats. Look at his overtaking stat, 89. See what, Zhou might be a driver to think about on another playthrough. His stats are developing really nicely. Vettel is still going. What's his contract on now? He's still on 15.5 mil. His stats are still pretty terrible, at least considering who he is. They should never have given him such a bad braking stat. Braking is everything when it comes to pace in this game. K-Mag, 4.3 mil. 3 months left on his deal. Let's see. I expect him to be moving on to another team. Actually, we do need to do some additional scouting now that that's finished. So, Yuki and Mick and Bashaw, now that he's on the grid, and I've got Teo already. Seeing if there's anybody else on the grid. Yeah, Logan, we've got Logan. Latifi. Let's go with Giovinazzi. Evening, Farah. Alright, there we go. So that's the scouting allocated. I am at max scout level, or max number of scouts for my level. So let's set some targets here for Singapore. So obviously, again, not going to set qualifying targets because we're not qualifying. We are going to get the fastest lap, and we are going, as always, to try and get the 1-2. It's more likely that we'll actually achieve it here. safety cars tend to happen at this race. Plus, we should be good on strategy. We will be two-stopping this one, just to see how that shakes things up a bit. So we'll have to fight our way through the field on 2 different occasions.
We're here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit and the Singapore Grand Prix is just about to start. The name Singapore means City of Lions, and this weekend Formula One will be roaring into action. The bumpy street surfaces here make this a challenging circuit for the drivers, and the humidity causes them to lose as much as 3 kilos over the course of a race. But it's also tough on the cars, with 23 corners to tackle each and every lap. Good low-speed downforce will make all the difference here. This is it. We're down to the last few races of the season, and it's time for that final push. Who will be crowned champion at the end of it all? We'll find out soon enough. Stay right here, because we're just getting started.
Anthony said he's found that Gasly makes a lot of mistakes, which is why he binned him and employed Russell. Yeah, Gasly has a higher aggression level than George, so he's more likely to go for the overtakes and push, which is why he's more likely to make those mistakes. Right, we put... We put Ollie in George's car last time. There's that engine that we managed to get to 0. I can still install this engine. It will still run. For science, I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to blow up the future of British motorsport here. But we're gonna see if I can complete Ollie Behrman's run. All right, there we go. So parts are in for both cars. Oh no, we haven't changed the engine on this one. Got to make sure we change that. There we go, 9%. That's fine. Singapore run plan is just 16 laps. Again, it's quite a slow lap. Can we have a vote which drivers you should put in your McLaren playthrough? Hey, go ahead, yeah. Suggestions for Anthony for his McLaren playthrough. Which drivers does he want to put in? Do you want to go young, old, more established drivers, or rookies like we're doing on the challenge mode? That's the most important question to answer first of all. And while you're thinking about that, we'll get this car set up. So we want to go with a 6.5 front wing on this one, and a 15.5 rear wing, a 9.1, a minus 2.7, and a 0.75. There we go. Oh, this one's quite low as well. Let's go with the same setup for this car. So 6.5, 15.5, 9.1, minus 2.7, and a 0.75. There we go. Again, 16 laps. Drop the pace, and we are ready to go.
Radio check. Radio check.
Let's see if this car's literally on fire as soon as it comes out the pit lane.
Watch those curbs.
Come on.
No smoke? Not yet. One young, one old. It's not really a good idea. Unless they're at similar kind of pace levels. For the simple reason that you want to keep your drivers at similar kind of pace, just so that they can help each other level up. By attacking each other. If you've got one driver who's very well established, got really good stats, and another one who's a complete rookie, you're going to have one car that's going to be mighty and one car that's going to be god-awful. You're better to have two cars that are similarly matched. So if you're going to go down the rookie route, go with two rookies. If you're going to go down the more established route, but you want to have a young rookie, then you better to have two established drivers, and then just put the driver you want to develop in your reserve seat, and just put him in every single FP1 session for the next 2 seasons, and then bin off one of the two drivers and replace him with your driver that you've developed. That would be a better idea, because you would have two cars that are at similarly pace levels, and you would also have a driver that you've moulded personally for 2 years by giving him as much XP as he can possibly get, and determining exactly where those points go. Sargent and Piastri, I've tried that combination. That works. Piastri will be faster than Sargent, but he can catch up, depending on, again, how you develop the drivers. And don't forget, certain drivers you will have to wait at least 1, maybe 2 seasons before you can actually get them into your team, because of the contract status. They can't be under 18. They can't not have done at least 2 seasons of competition. So Ollie Behrman, you couldn't sign him until the end of season 2, for example. Whereas drivers like Porsche, Sargent, Piastri, you can sign from day 1. Jack Crawford, another promising rookie, you can't sign him till around Canada of year 2.
VSC.
That's when he turns 18.
Cover it. Okay, yellow.
Oh, mix out.
Copy.
We've had a crash.
Behrman's still going with an engine that has no engine. It's not even smoking. Have we somehow found an engine that's now just going to run forever? Is it impossible for an engine to just fail? Is it just going to be really slow? It's not even that slow. It's only half a second slower than Russell, and that's down to pace stats more than anything. If engines cannot fail, that is really poor. If you want to challenge, if you want to work on a young driver, pick one young driver you want to work on.
How do you feel about doing another lap on this set?
Get rid of Norris, get rid of Ricciardo, put in Nick de Vries,
Okay,
and
copy
Stoffel
that,
Van
copy
Dorn
that.
as your 2 drivers,
What was the balance,
and
please?
then hire a rookie for your reserve that you want to train for the next 2 seasons. Right. We want to tweak the camber like that, I think. Push that way. Let's try that. Joe is going to be a very good driver after a few seasons. We saw his stats earlier at the beginning of the stream after 2.5 seasons. Bearing in mind that the AI just distributes the points how it sees fit whenever it levels drivers up. So that's something you need to take into consideration, that AI generated points will be different to whatever you come up with. But it gives you an idea as to how he can develop after a couple of seasons. Oh, we need a lot of work on this car. Right, let's go with a bit of a drastic change. Let's go 8, 15.5. Let's go 8.2. Leave that as a 2.7. Push that up to a 1. That's too much. Let's go like that. We're going to need to go to a 7.3, I think. I think that's too much. Let's go back to an 8.2. Yeah, let's try that. Nope.
Let's have a look. Now we see the
Timed that
Williams
perfectly
here.
to look at what was going on with Behrman. He's going straight into the barrier.
And there we see the crash. The team are devastated. They'll be questioning just what happened out there.
It's just the front wing that's damaged, but a little annoying. He's still a long way off completing his run, so we better call him in and replace that front wing.
How is the balance, please?
Alright, there we go. We've got car to 100%, and it's not even smoking. This is a 0% engine, and it's not even smoking. Yeah, they really need to do something with engine mechanics in the next game. There need to be engine failures, because it's just running at 0. It's not even a smoke. Yeah, we set fire to this thing last time. It shouldn't be able to be selected, it shouldn't be able to be run, and yet here it is, and it's absolutely fine. It's ridiculous. Oh yeah, if you want a real challenge, go Team Fittipaldi. Pietro and Enzo. And that would be kind of fitting as well, because Emerson did drive for McLaren.
Anything to sound balance?
That might be my next series.
Okay, mate. Understood.
If this game isn't going to get an update this year, then that might be the next series that we do. Right, 94%. That's pretty good. If you want another challenge, Ferrari, but you're only allowed to hire Italian drivers. So you can get a semi-decent driver at the start with Giovinazzi, but your list of choices beyond that dwindle very quickly when you get down to drivers like Enzo Trilli. Yeah, that's going to be tough. All right, next session. I'm kind of curious as to whether or not that engine will actually survive a run, but we'll test that another time. I have to go with that engine. It's not ideal. We want a long run, so we want to go 35 laps. That should be enough to last the entire session. As for George, don't need to run as long, so let's tweak the setup first of all. That is going to be a 7.3, maybe. Let's try that. And we'll run for 23 laps.
Radio check.
Yeah, all good.
That's green light.
Right, let's do the thing. There we go. someone's binned it. Joe, we've just been waxing lyrical about how much we like how Joe's developing, and he's gone and binned it as a result. Farris jinxed him.
Crash. Let's see what happened there. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin.
Even though Farah hasn't mentioned his name once, he's jinxed him. He jinxes everyone else. He jinxes me like crazy, so it doesn't surprise me that he's managing to jinx the AI as well.
Balance update when you can. Balance update.
There we go. We've got Russell's car up to 100%. So now we just need to run. Someone else has crashed.
Sounds like there's been a crash.
It's Ocon. Another crash. This is why safety cars are so easy to see on this circuit. Walls are so close. You lock up, you spin, you're pretty much in the barrier. Hell, even running wide can put you in a barrier. Right, there we go. George up to 79% on track knowledge. That's good. Getting there with Gasly. Another crash.
We've just had a crash on the track.
Science this time. There's a lot of potential carbon fibre being left out on the track in this session. So, who are you thinking then, Anthony?
Good session, well done.
As your driver pairing?
Hello and thank you.
Let's see, 20 laps will be... Oh, no, that's wrong driver. We want to go 26 laps might be enough. I'll bump that to 28 just to be on the safe side. For George, 19 laps should be enough. There we go.
The radio is good? You can hear me, yeah?
Radio check, okay.
Piastri and Zhou with Fittipaldi as a reserve. If you're going to go a Fittipaldi team, put one in the car, put Pietro in the car, and put Enzo in reserve, and then have a driver that you don't mind taking out every session to every race, for the first session, so that you can boost up Pietro and still boost up Enzo every race as well.
We've had a crash.
Because you can't delay on Pietro. You've got to get him in the car ASAP, earning as much XP as possible, because he's already like 25. Enzo's 20, I think, so there's time to work on Enzo. It'll take a long time to get him up to the level where he's going to be a world champion, but it's a long-term project. But Pietro, he has a bit of a head start pace, in terms of stats over his brother, but at 25 his XP gain is going to be average, not high. So yeah, you want him in the car from day one if you're going to go with Fittipaldi's. You could go Team Asia. You could do McLaren Honda with Yuki Tsunoda and Zhou as a driver pairing. Put a bit of a theme to your team. Tsunoda's crap. Well, yeah, he needs development. That's the thing. You would need to allocate those stat points out to improve him. In fact, remind me afterwards, after the race. We'll take a look at his current stats in this campaign. See what he's looking like.
I think that was a crash.
Albon is Thai. Yeah, he's Thai, but he's more British than Thai. He's kind of got dual citizenship, but I mean, he's spent pretty much his entire life in this country, so I would class him more as a British driver than a Thai driver, even though he does race under a Thai license. Another VSC.
Fail please.
It's Joe again. Farah, you gotta stop jinxing Joe. Leave the poor kid alone. What has he done to you? Right, let's get some good bits in the car. I'm gonna go with the 70s engines for the circuits. Go with the good ERS units and good gearboxes. There we go. And let's see who qualifies and who goes out with
Radio
us
check.
in Q1.
Radio check, okay. Radio check, okay.
Well, Hamilton's not in this campaign because he didn't renew his deal with Mercedes. He's on a year's sabbatical. So I think all that latent malevolence is rebounding off the fact that Hamilton's not in this save file right now and is targeting Joe. So at the moment it's Porsche, Vettel and Schumacher facing the drop along with us. For sure is going to be the first to cross the line.
We'll get some comments when you're back in the garage and plugged in.
Stays 10th. Alonso improves up to 5th. Here come the two Alpines. Vettel jumps up to 8th. Ocon goes 5th. Zhou's out. Along with Schumacher, and is it going to be Tsunoda? I think it is. Unless he can improve. Nope. Wow, Perez is down the rankings. He's going to make it through, but only just at the moment. And even with another lap, he only goes up to 12th, and that immediately becomes 13th. Wow, that is a bit of a shock. And he was in clean air as well. So we've got a penalty for Sainz and nobody else.
It's race day, and final preparations are underway.
Williams has been struggling this weekend, as reflected by their current grid position. But we've seen teams come back from worse results. This has the potential to be an exciting race for them. We saw a reasonably good qualifying performance from Ferrari, and they certainly have a good chance to capitalize during the race. And the sun is shining bright here today. This is perfect weather for teams and drivers alike to show us what they're capable of.
Well, we've got some fascinating strategies that are sure to be applied today. But for now, all eyes shift to the starting line of the Singapore Grand Prix.
Right, I know I said I was going to two-stop this, but we might just go with the one-stop. We'll see. The plan is to go medium, soft, soft. With a stop around lap 33. Let's see if we get rid of these. What happens if we turn that into a two-stop? Okay, so we can do that. Mediums to softs to softs. That's not bad. And that is 8 seconds faster than the one stop. So we will go with the two stop. I normally just run a one stop here, so this will be an interesting experiment. See how it shakes out in reality. We are going to get a safety car at some point. I'm pretty much convinced of that. So it'll be interesting to see how that impacts our strategy decisions. There we go. I am not going to take fuel out. Actually, I'm going to take a lap of fuel out of the car. And we're not going to go aggressive at the start. We're just going to sit back and wait for the carnage. Let's go racing.
It looks like clear skies tonight, with the drivers now in their grid positions. Here we've got George Russell. They'll be starting the race from the bottom half of the grid, so there's a fair bit of ground to make up. Next for the team, it's Pierre Gasly. They're starting in the bottom half of the grid today, so there's a lot of cars between them and the podium. And we're just moments away now. We're just moments away from the Singapore Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go.
Okay, Verstappen jumps Bottas off the line.
Awesome, keep it up.
And he's away. Perez is fourth. So Perez must have just had a bad run in quali. It seems to have improved quite dramatically. Where's Sainz? Sainz is down in 13th following his penalty. So that must have been a third place quali with a 10 place penalty. We've got both our cars past Schumacher so far. Next up is Farah's irrationally hated Zhou. Who is standing in for Lewis Hamilton. And we're one of only 4 cars starting on the mediums. Everyone else is starting on the softs. So these guys are probably going to run for about 15 laps before they box. If that. Maybe 20 at a push. And then they're going to be on mediums for the rest of the race. Possibly even hards for the rest of the race. We've got a nice nose cam view of Russell trying to find a way past Zhou, who is being held up by Vasseur. Given how well Zhou's been driving in recent races in this season as well, I'm surprised that he qualified so poorly. Maybe he just didn't get a run in clean air. Or maybe he's running an older engine. But he looks like he's got the pace. He's just trying to find his way past for sure right now. As soon as DRS kicks in, he'll probably find his way through. Because he does look to be swarming all over the back of Vasseur right now. Vasseur is struggling to stay within a second of Tsunoda.
And DRS enabled.
Okay, we're getting some gaps opening up already. Verstappen and Bottas sprinting away. They've almost completely dropped Leclerc. Just about managed to hang on in the DRS there. But Ricciardo's been dropped. Perez right behind him. Magnussen's been dropped. Vashaw has been dropped. Stroll's about to be dropped from Sainz. And we've dropped Schumacher. He's hoping Joe frustrates me for a good few laps. This is why I decided to start on the mediums and not on the softs. Because I figured we'd probably get held up on this circuit trying to fight our way through. And I'd rather have the Primo tyres available when we've got clean air to use them. So we've got a 3-car breakaway at the front. Let's take a look at that. We watch from Leclerc's cockpit. I remember when that used to be the Singapore Sling god-awful chicane. It was horrendous. So glad that they got rid of it. Most ridiculous idea for a corner that I'd ever seen. And Joe has still not found his way past. We're going to give our guys a little injection of battery here. Oh, Gasly trying to sneak his way up the inside of Russell there. Zhou's through. Oh, you had to look up the Singapore Sling. Yeah, it was. Oh, it was awful. This ridiculous left, right, left chicane that became just a left-hand corner. which is what it should have been in the first place. It should never have gone with that ridiculous, stupid little chicane. Right, can we get past for sure here? Oh wow, we got past Joe as well. What a move from Russell. That is World Championship material there. That's a supreme bit of driving.
Okay, buddy, you're doing a great job here. Keep it up.
Williams there gaining several places in one go. Let's take a closer look. Now let's look at this. Here's George Russell.
Oh, is that someone off? It is. Oh, we got hit.
Take a look now. Now we see the Williams here.
Yeah.
Oh, we got a safety car.
So,
So
there's a safety
VSC.
car.
Okay.
Yeah.
No more DRS.
So, did we get any damage or did we just get held up? I think we just got held up. No tyre. Oh, no, we've got a little bit of tyre damage, look, on the rear right. No damage to the car. And yeah, Gasly's fine. Right, so this is a little earlier than I thought it would be, but let's look at converting. Getting one of our stops out of the way now. And basically just switching to soft for the rest of the race. And I'll make sure I actually do tell them to pit this time. We've made that mistake a bit too often. Right, there we go. Russell boxing. And Gasly boxing. There we go. Plus, we can also save a bit of fuel. Get some recharging done. We're already at the back of the grid, so we're not really going to lose out a huge amount.
There's contact. It's chaos on the track. Here's the replay. Now let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved in this one.
Oh, yeah, that was not clever.
No! And there's the crash. Mark my words, there'll be questions asked about that.
So
later.
Alonso at fault there. Locking up and just torpedoing his teammate. So both Alfa Romeos are right behind us as well. And we get ahead of both of them because Porsche needed a front wing replacement. So we don't lose position, that's good. And the VSC is about to end. So we timed that beautifully.
And VSC ending.
You can use DRS. And we have margin to push a little bit more on the tires.
Yeah.
Right, let's see what kind of lap times we can drop in now. We are 20 odd seconds off the back of Schumacher, which is a big gap,
Let's go recharge
but
off.
Coming.
we've already got one of our stops out of the way, and a significantly less time lost than it would have been. And we should start hunting these guys down very quickly. We've already taken 2 seconds at Schumacher. Well, actually, having said that, I think part of that is also because we went back up to racing speed rather than VSC speeds. But even so, you can see that time is coming down quickly. So Porsche and Alonso have gone to mediums. That's very early for a medium, so they're going to do another stop later in the Grand Prix. Surprised they didn't go with hard tyres, to be honest, boxing this early. So we've got a big gap between our breakaway group at the front of Verstappen, Bottas and Leclerc. 7 seconds then back to Ocon, who's up to 4th, ahead of Ricciardo, Perez, Magnussen, Albon, Vettel, Norris, Sainz, all in a train. And then a little 2-second gap to Stroll, Tsunoda. Vasseur is 7.5 seconds further back, ahead of Zhou and Schumacher. And then we are a bit further behind, but closing very quickly. This should be fastest lap material. And there we go. Half a second faster than Verstappen. And 2 seconds faster than Schumacher. So, seeing as our drivers are in dead air at the moment, let's keep an eye on this three-way battle for the front. And obviously we'll cut back further down the field if something happens. Both our drivers complaining about their tyres getting a little hot as Bottas is making a move for the lead. Can he hold? He can. And completes the move. Looks like Leclerc's struggling to hang on to the back of these guys. At least in certain places anyway. And you can see just how fast the acceleration of Verstappen is. And when that car opens its DRS, it's just so fast in a straight line. Here comes Max. And he completes the move. Alright, we're just at 11.5 seconds off the back of Schumacher already. Absolutely flying at the moment. 1:41.6 on the last lap. Still lapping almost 2 seconds a lap faster than Schumacher. Over 2 seconds faster than Zhou, who is being held up by Vasseur again. And Max, even running with the DRS overtake, still can't quite lap as fast as we're lapping. So in terms of raw pace, we've definitely got an advantage over the rest of the field here. It's partly down to the car, partly down to the tyres, given that our tyres are fresher. There's a tyre update for you. Second half of the race is going to be the interesting half, because if we don't get a safety car, we are going to have to do some fuel saving. But we will have a definite pace advantage. At least for a while, until our softs start to wear, and then we'll kind of potentially be at the risk of the mediums or the hards outpacing us in the closing stages. Can I win from here? Potentially. Yeah, I mean we're 40 seconds off the lead at the moment, but we are closing on the cars in front of us. We can try and save a bit of fuel while we're stuck behind them, getting ourselves recharged. We haven't pushed yet since we came out the pits. We're just driving normally. And there you can see we are lapping around half a second plus faster than the leaders at the moment. So yeah, we've definitely got the pace in the car to close the gap up. It's just a question as to how long we can keep that pace up. And how much pace we'll lose when we start fuel saving and our tyres start dropping off a little bit. These guys are going to be getting close to their pit stops. The strategy for for these guys is a very strange one. It's a very short stint on the softs. So yeah, in the next couple of laps, between laps 14 and 20, they're going to be going on to the mediums, or lap 12 to 18 is the window for hards. So we're already in the window for a hard tyre stop, and we're just outside the window for these guys going on to mediums for the rest of the race. Oh, excuse me. It looks like Bottas lining up for another run. Down the inside. Completes the move.
Very good luck.
Gasly sets a new fastest lap. Wondering when he was going to wake up. It's been outpaced by George so far. The gap to Schumacher is now just 5 seconds. We should start seeing that little group of cars in front of us very soon. There they are. And Leclerc's in. So, is he going mediums or hards? I'm going to go hards, I think. And you can see the mechanics are out for McLaren, so Ricciardo's coming in as well. That is hard tyres for Charles. And also for Ricciardo. Let's see, is that going to be hards for Kevin as well? It is. As Russell sets a new fastest lap. Gasly's out just behind Ricciardo and just ahead of Magnussen.
Ciao, John.
Copy.
And now Bottas comes in, as does Sainz. And Bottas has gone mediums. Let's see what Sainz does. Sainz is going hards, so that's an interesting decision there for Bottas. He gets out ahead of Leclerc, so Leclerc is not able to undercut. Sainz is now behind us. There's Sainz coming out the pits in the background there. As Russell goes around, no, not quite, almost around the outside of Schumacher. Let's get some battery in the back of Russell.
Okay, recharge on, recharge on.
Copy.
Let's turn the charge off on Gasly because that's stopping him from getting the overtake done so far.
Charge off.
Copy.
We might have to force the issue here with a bit of battery.
Oh, you can use the deploy.
Copy.
Now Albon, Tsunoda and Zhou are boxing, so Zhou is no longer in front of me, Farah. As Gasly gets the move done on Ricciardo.
Okay, that's good, very good.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
Russell's still tucked up behind Schumacher at the moment because he's still in charge mode. Right, Gasly, we can now switch into neutral. Now that he's survived that DRS straight.
Go recharge off when you're ready.
Yeah, copy, all good.
And just rocketing past Schumacher.
Okay, good job.
Okay, Verstappen and Ocon are in, so that's going to be for mediums. I'm pretty sure
And
of
a new
that.
position just gained by Williams.
Yep, mediums for Verstappen. It's going to be mediums for Ocon. There we go. We can see an AlphaTauri in front. That's going to be for Stroll. He's also going mediums.
That was a very good lap.
Gasly sets a new fastest lap, and we get out just ahead of Ocon. At least with Russell. Gasly's a little bit further behind. And Russell just goes swooping past Vachur there. So Leclerc is up next.
Well done.
So these guys have all done their one stop for the duration. We still have another one to make. As Gasly gets himself into DRS range.
Charge on, charge on.
Copy.
And now Perez boxes, along with Vettel. Ocon throws it up the inside of Schumacher, who's probably going to box this lap. And there he goes, into the box.
confirmed, confirmed. Vettel has pitted.
So can we get out ahead of Perez? Yes, we can. There's Perez in the background. So we're running 5th and 8th, but don't forget we do still have that extra stop to make. Russell already looking to hunt down Leclerc and is 0.3 of a lap faster. Despite being on 77% softs as opposed to 95% hards. So, Ocon should be able to get past for sure relatively easily. We're just going to stay tucked up behind and keep charging until Ocon makes the move. And then we'll try and push through and follow him. And then leapfrog him. FF, you mean Final Fantasy? I'm a fan of the earlier stuff. I haven't played a Final Fantasy game that I really enjoyed since 10. I've got 15, but I've never played it. I tried the 7 remake, and it was good. It was good, but it didn't grab me the way the original did. I think it was just the nostalgia factor that got me really, really excited about that game, and I just haven't enjoyed it as much as I thought I would. I haven't actually seen anything about Pixel remasters, so I have no opinion on it because I haven't seen it. I'll have to have a look after the stream and let you know tomorrow. Alright, Ocon is through, so now we can start looking at getting Gasly through as well. But yeah, the original 7, huge fan. Big fan of 8. Didn't play 9. Loved 10. 10 Part 2, never really played that much of. But at some point I do plan on playing that one, because I've got the remaster. Played 13. It was alright, but it didn't really grab me. Never played 14, which is the online one. And I say I've got 15 from the PlayStation Plus collection, which if you have a PS5 and you haven't already grabbed your games from the PS Plus collection, you've only got a couple of weeks left. That game collection will disappear early in May, so do make sure you go ahead and grab those 19 free games. Used to be 20, used to have Persona 5 Royale in the collection, but that got taken out last summer. And now it's just 19 games, but 19 very good games across a multitude of different genres. Alright, there we go. We are through.
Good job.
And we've got a 5-second gap to Russell.
Just gained by Williams.
We're going to drag Ocon along with us. We're not going to outpace Ocon, but there's no point trying at this point. as our tyre pace starts to drop off, it'll be useful to have Ocon in front of us and pulling us along a little bit better. You love 10, but it was brutal. Oh, I adore 10. I had the original 10 broke my heart in some ways. I mean, I loved the game. I absolutely adored it. And I had a memory card with 140 hours of save file on it. I'd got all of the celestial weapons. I'd fought a couple of the Dark Aeons. I'd done a chunk of the monster dungeons and stuff, but I got broken into. And my PS2 got stolen, and my memory card was in the slot, and I lost all my progress for Final Fantasy X, and I never went back to it after that. No, I never even bought a replacement. I don't think I still had the copy, I think, but you know, obviously I never started over. And then I picked up the Final Fantasy X remaster, the 10 and 10 Part 2 remaster, and I've platinumed it now. Done everything, but yeah, haven't got around to 10 Part 2 yet. But for years I never touched Final Fantasy X again after that, because it was so soul destroying to lose that much progress. Alright, we are still hunting down Charles Leclerc. We're closing. Yeah, I got the Plat for 10 a little over a year ago, I think. I'm not entirely sure exactly when. Just to get the Plat done, I kind of copped out a little bit when I fought Penance. I just summoned your Jimbo, gave him 7 million gil, and just one-shotted San Matto'd him. But I did save before the fight, so I have done the fight the hard way as well. But just to get the platinum done, I just like, fuck it. one hit kill. Celestial weapons you're struggling with. The hardest celestial weapon to get, I think, is the Chocobo race. Just because it's just the camera controls can be so clunky sometimes, the way it cuts the camera and when you're holding a stick for movement. The Chocobo race is frustrating. But the butterflies can be frustrating as well in the forest. Trying to get a clean run without clipping the wrong colour butterfly. The lightning strikes is brutal on the remaster, because it comes down to timing, because there's an input lag. So if you just try and do it as the screen flashes, then odds are you're probably going to get struck by lightning. There is a spot, a little, it's not really a cheat as such, but there's a little place within the lightning planes where you can kind of predict exactly where the strike is going to come from.
Okay, keep it clean.
And then just dodge there. But even that took me a few attempts to doing it that way. It took me a few attempts to get to 100 100 dodges. That was a bit of a grind as well. So this is why I've dragged Ocon along with me, away from Vashore, because we're getting to the point where our tyres are going to start to lose some pace. So we can stay tucked up behind Ocon for a bit. We can recharge, and then we can do some fuel saving as well, as our pace starts to naturally drop off, and then use the slipstream of the DRS to hold that pace. Russell Well, he's gone straight on the attack. I was going to say we can get him to tuck up behind Leclerc, but he's just gone instantly on the attack. Russell's really feeling it this Grand Prix.
Okay, good
He's
job.
on a mission. He wants to wrap this title up as quick as he can. Let's see if Leclerc comes back at us here on the DRS. Of all the Dark Aeons, though, I think the hardest Dark Aeon to fight is probably the Mega Sisters. Did not enjoy that fight at all. That one was rough. Okay, Norris still leading this Grand Prix, yet to stop. He's going for the one-stop mediums to softs. So his pace is going to start dropping off pretty soon. And he'll be running those mediums for a long time, but then he'll be very quick at the end. A late safety car is going to play into his hands beautifully.
Give us a bit more lift off, please.
Yeah.
Alright, Gasly is just about ready to stop charging. There we go.
Charge off.
Now we can concentrate on saving some fuel. Russell still needs to do that. Do need to get him charged up a bit more as well. But as things currently stand, we do have a little bit more pace than Charles Leclerc still. As Bottas overtakes Norris. We're actually lapping faster than the leaders, although that's because they have been lapping at Norris's pace, and you can see he is a second and a half slower than we are. So Max is going to get held up. Well, at least he will be held up as soon as Bottas breaks away from Norris, which I imagine is going to happen very soon, within the next lap or two.
Watch for fuel.
Copy.
Now it's Perez's turn to be frustrated by Vasseur. He's tucked up behind him. And Zhou just doesn't have any pace this weekend. Is he running an old engine? Let's have a look. Uh, 56, 44 on the gearbox, 60 on the ERS. It's not a horrible engine. Have I played the Persona games? No, I haven't played any of the Persona games before. I did add Persona 5 Royale to my collection. I just haven't played it, haven't downloaded it. But yeah, the collection itself is being withdrawn as a thing in May. So yeah, it'll be 2.5 years old by that point. And most, if not all, got a lockup.
Sounds like there's been a crash.
It's Schumacher.
Let's take a look at the replay. Let's have a look here. This was the Aston Martin.
Silly to lose them. Well, no, I mean it makes sense that they're withdrawing the collection. It was done as a welcome gift for PS5 users, you know, just to help bolster the selection of games available to new PS5 users, especially people who hadn't had a PS4. You know, who'd decided to move from Xbox to PlayStation. They get instant free access to a ton of PlayStation greats. But with the new PlayStation tiers, you know, with, you know, standard, you know, essential, then extra, then premium, those games are pretty much all available across those various different tiers, or have been issued as Game of the Month on PlayStation Plus Essential at some point, in some cases as well. So it makes sense that the collection's not really needed anymore. I mean, you'll still have access to them if you've added them to your library. It's just you won't be able to access the collection, you know, for the first time by the end of May. Okay, so we're now losing out to Bottas by a couple of tenths, as Leclerc does get through at last. Now our tyres have dipped below 60%, so now we can start fuel saving with Russell. Just top up that battery, that last little bit that it needs as well. Yeah, silly to lose out on them by not adding to the library. Yeah, exactly. Even if you don't download them, as long as you add them to your library, you've got them for as long as you're a PlayStation Plus member. So at any tier. So yeah, for those of you who haven't already added them, add them while you've got the chance, because they're only there for another couple of weeks. Right, we're almost in the pit window for George and Gasly. So there's fuel savings coming at just about the right time. We are going to have to fight our way back through some of that midfield traffic again. And without a safety car, it is going to be tricky to hunt down the leaders. But not impossible.
So a recharge off. Copy.
We're almost done fuel saving with Gasly. And get him down to 0.2, I think, and then we'll stop fuel saving. I'm probably going to stretch the stint by an extra lap or two. Well, I might do. We'll see. And there's a tyre check for you, Farrah. So Norris and Vasseur are also running quite warm tyres, as are Porsche and Alonso, thanks to their very early stop onto mediums because they hit each other. But those guys are going to run longer than we are before they make their stop. The AI always runs a very weird strategy on this circuit. It always runs a very short stint on the softs and then a very long stint on the mediums or the hards. So I don't expect Norris to box until there's about 18 laps to go, 15 laps to go, somewhere in that kind of range.
Let's lift off, please.
Okay.
You're feeling quite confident about what? Oh, about me winning. Maybe. We'll have to make up like a 25-second, 30-second gap.
Okay, that's good, Pierre, very good.
Gasly gets back in front of Ocon.
And a new position, just gained by Williams. Let's see what happened there. Now look at this, it's Pierre Gasly.
And we are now fuel positive with Gasly, which gives us a little bit of flexibility pace-wise for the end of the Grand Prix. Leclerc gets past Norris. Hopefully we'll make quick work of him. Even with a bit of fuel saving going on. Ideally, I want to try and get my drivers back together again. So we're going to box Gasly first. Give him a lap or two at faster pace to close that gap to Russell. And then they can use each other's pace to fight their way through as we lap Schumacher, who's got no front wing. So, yeah. That's not good for him, and it's also not good for Zhou, because if Zhou damages his front wing, he can't change it either. So a bad weekend would get even worse for him. So Leclerc lapping a couple of tenths slower than Verstappen. He might start to close up on the
So we
on
keep
the others.
focusing on the pace.
Gasly held as a result of Schumacher getting in the way there.
Just advanced. Let's take a closer look. Now have a watch of this. Looks like Ocon. And there they go, moving up a position in the...
Safety car. Oh no. Okay, well, that says it's not too bad. It's not too bad because the safety car is not going to pick up the leaders this lap. So I can box Gasly this lap. I've missed the box this lap for George, but he won't get held up behind the safety car for next lap. And that has come at the perfect time. So what happened? What triggered that safety car?
DRS disabled. DRS disabled.
There's been a crash. Let's have
Oh, it's Teo.
Now let's watch this. The Alfa Romeo involved in this one.
You haven't cursed me. You've, that safety car's perfect because I'm
Very unfortunate.
gonna get my fresh tyres and I'm gonna be right on the back of the leaders again.
And that was a
So that 30-second gap that I'm gonna have to make up, it's not gonna be there.
Their overall chances.
So the safety car's not going to exit the pits until Verstappen and Bottas come around. We're going to see a few other cars box as well. Schumacher's boxing, Verschoor is boxing, obviously Norris is boxed. Schumacher has put on some fresh tyres but still has no front wing. Yeah, here's the leaders. That's where they are right now. So the safety car won't come out until they start getting around to the end of the lap. So Russell isn't losing out here, because the whole field is having to lap to this safety car delta, and then the field won't start condensing until the leaders are picked up by the safety car, which will happen at the start of the next lap.
No lift and coast required from our side at the moment.
So there you go. See the safety car's exiting the pits now and is ready to pick up the leaders. George is going to lose position to Ocon, but he's going to get out ahead of Norris. Gasly tucked up behind Sainz and it will be and Perez once the safety car picks up the rest of the field. So for Russell, this gap is worked out beautifully. So there goes Norris. And we're out ahead of Vettel. I thought we'd get ahead of Norris, but he just managed to pip us. But that's okay, because, as I say, we are still ahead of Vettel and Perez and Sainz and Gasly, who are there in the background. So now we just need to wait for the train to form up. Schumacher will get to unlap himself. And then we'll be off to the races again. And our chances of winning the Grand Prix just skyrocketed. So this is the tyre situation. We are on those brand new softs, as is Norris, but he doesn't have the pace that we do. But as you can see, everybody in front of us is on used tyres that aren't worn enough for them to even consider making another stop. So they won't. Even though strategically they could have boxed for softs, they won't. And unless one of them damages their car and has to box for that, they won't make another pit stop. The only car that hasn't boxed yet and will still need to box is Alonso. Who is effectively out of contention. Let's see if he does box. Might still be a little early for him. Yep, still not boxing. Those tyres were a little bit more worn than he would have dived in. If they were around 50%, he'd have been in. As it is, he's going to run around for another few laps and then probably box in about 5-10 laps time, further destroying his race. So Max leads from Bottas, then Leclerc, then Ocon, Norris, then Russell. Who is now surely a lock for the win. Then Vettel, Perez, Sainz, and then Gasly. Currently 10th, but will easily have the pace to get up to 2nd. And all that aggressive fuel saving we did earlier has been completely unnecessary because we now have a ton of extra fuel. And we've still got at least another lap under the safety car. Because Schumacher needs to unlap himself.
Safety car is in.
It's not going to let him.
Safety car is in this lap. Copy.
It's because he's damaged, that's why. Okay, that makes things a bit more interesting. We don't have to worry about Schumacher becoming a roadblock right in front of us again. So let's just up the tyre pace a little bit and start burning off this extra fuel.
No lift and coast required.
And let's start using some battery.
We need to push.
Yeah.
Racing from the line, racing from the line.
Copy.
Okay, just while we're on the attack, let's turn the tyre pace up a touch.
Come on. Yeah, Roger.
Oh, I thought we had the move done then. He just eased off and tucked in behind instead. That's a shame. Okay, it's a little congested at the moment, just can't quite find enough clean air to make the move. There we go.
Nice job.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please. Yep.
DRS enabled, DRS enabled.
Alright, so we should be able to get the move done on sights here. Up the inside, DRS is going to open.
Okay, good job, thank you. Need to drop the pace.
Yeah.
Okay, recharge on. Copy.
Okay, charge on.
Copy.
Alright, so we need to be a little careful here that we don't get caught napping from Norris with those soft tyres of his. I think we've got enough pace to stay ahead even while we're charging like this. Gasly has caught up to the back of Perez already.
Give us more lift off, please.
Let's just protect these tyres while we're in charge mode.
Lift and coast required. Copy.
Very good lap.
As Ocon gets ahead of Leclerc. we are definitely being held up with Gasly, but we need to charge up, so I'm not overly concerned about that yet. We still have 22 laps to go at the end of this one. It'd be nice to be able to get past Leclerc, but again, we've got plenty of time. There's no great rush. I think Perez has definitely got more pace than Vettel, just hasn't been able to find his way through. That is going to make it harder to overtake him if he's still behind Vettel, getting that DRS. See if he makes the move here. Nope. As Leclerc gets back in front of Ocon. And this is where we're starting to lose touch with the leaders a little bit. Let's go on the aggression here. Take the offensive.
Alright, buddy, push.
Yeah, copy.
We go around the Ferrari, nearly around Ocon as well.
Okay, mate, good job.
And now we've got the Ferrari and the Alpine. There we go. And Norris has got through against Leclerc as well.
Nicely done.
Okay, so let's go back into protection mode.
And a new position just gained by Williams. Here's the replay. Now we see the Williams here.
Now we see Norris sneaking through on the inside as well in the background.
They take advantage and muscle their way through. Excellent work. That was a big moment. The team are clearly delighted.
So 2 places gained in as many corners. That's what we like to see. And that is the blueprint for what we need to do here.
Only can use the deploy.
Copy.
Let's go for a push.
Yeah, copy.
Can we throw it up the inside? Not quite. And we have already broken the gap to nearly 2 seconds already. We're already on the back of Bottas. As we swoop around Perez, get a run on Vettel. This is a carbon copy of what we did to Leclerc and Norris. Sorry, Leclerc and Ocon.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
Perez is going to follow us through. So, disaster for Vettel there.
Need to drop the pace.
Copy.
And now we should start reeling in Leclerc very quickly. We are here on the back of the leaders. Start recharging again.
Recharge on, please. Recharge on. Come on.
And already we've gapped Perez. So yeah, the win is very much looking on the cards. The 1-2 is looking very much on the cards right now. Such is the pace that we have. And Norris is through up to 4th. Those soft tyres are working well for Norris. And there we go, we've caught up to the back of Leclerc, so we can go back into charge mode for Gasly, build his battery back up. Russell all over the back of Verstappen here. We will be punching through and sprinting in a moment. Here we go. Oh, we've got a red flag. Big, big crash somewhere. Oh, that shakes things up.
Red flag, red flag.
We can take a look now. Now watch this. Here's Alonso's car.
Oh, wow. Schumacher just stopped in the middle of the tunnel after a collision with the Shaw,
And the team
I think.
had such high hopes today. What a shame.
So we have a 4-car pileup, and no wonder they red flagged it. So, Vashaw, Zhou, Sonoda, Alonso, and Porsche are all out. We just lost 4 cars in that collision there. And now everybody's going to change tyres. Everybody. So this really does reset things again. But we are probably the only team at the front that still has brand new softs. We're going to end up with a ton of spare fuel.
We're set once more. And soon we'll continue this race. And it's lights out. And away we go.
Okay, we need some deploy.
Okay.
So there we go. Everybody's gone onto
Turn one,
softs.
please.
Okay.
Very good job,
We've
Pierre.
got so much spare fuel. Pierre has jumped ahead of Leclerc already, as we are going to try and go around the outside of Verstappen. Can't quite make the move. And now that wonderful pace advantage that we had by a country mile over the rest of the field had gone. And we still have an advantage, but not as big as it was. And the front 3, or the front 2, are going to be harder to hold back. on these softs than they were on their mediums. As Gasly gets up the inside of Ocon.
You're doing a good job.
And now he's out of battery.
Okay, charge on.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened there. Now we see the Williams here.
That's a brave place to overtake there.
Gaining a position there. They make it look so easy. I think it's safe.
Alright, throw it at the inside of Verstappen. Get the DRS on Bottas. We can't get the overtake because we're boxed in. Oh, we're 3 wide through that corner.
And there's an overtake.
Oh, we hold them off and we sneak through into the lead. What a move.
Okay, recharge on.
Let's take a closer look. Now we see the Williams.
Look at that, 3 wide through that corner, and then we just managed to sneak ahead of Verstappen into the right-hander there. Supreme driving from Russell. Can we get Norris the same way we got Ocon? Nope. Russell is driving a little defensively, I think. Yeah, very defensively. Verstappen's going to try and retake that position, and is going to do so. It's okay, I'm playing the long game here.
Red Bull gained a place.
Need to drop the pace.
Okay.
So I need to build up enough battery to be able to sprint away, which is what I'm going to try and do now. Not going to happen here. Let's go back into harvest mode. Oh, maybe it is going to happen here.
Okay, recharge on. Good job. Recharge on.
Yeah, copy, all good.
Right, hopefully we'll get the DRS here. There we go. So let's start pushing. A lap of sprinting to try and break the gap.
Let's push, come on.
Yeah.
This needs to be a monster lap from George. It's not enough at the moment. Strong finish to the lap is needed here. Gasly in danger of being dropped.
Reminder, charge off.
Copy.
Almost broken the 1 second. There we go, we just about managed it. Killed our battery to do it, but we broke away.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please. Copy.
Charge on, charge on.
Yeah, copy.
So the question is, can I hold Verstappen back while running this pace setting with Russell? Or is he going to sneak back into that 1 second gap again? I'm hoping I can hold him off. And I'm hoping that Bottas being right on the back of him is going to make him go defensive in some corners as well. Meanwhile, we need to get this move done on Norris now.
Push hard, push hard.
Okay.
There we go. Let's hunt down Bottas.
You're doing a good job.
And we are gradually opening up that gap to Verstappen. It's very close. 1/10 of a second. But this is allowing us to burn off this excess fuel and still stay fast without destroying the tyres in the process. I mean, we haven't got a huge number of laps left, so I could just push, but I can keep the tyres in healthy condition. That just means we'll be even stronger at the end of the race against the AI. As Bottas has snuck ahead of Verstappen now. Also means we can protect the engine a little bit more as well by running at this slightly lower pace setting on the tyres. You were AFK for 10 minutes. Safety car again. Red flag. We had a big crash at that tunnel we've just come out of there. Vasseur, Zhou, Tsunoda and Alonso all retired in one go. So red flagged the race and everybody's on softs now.
We have margin to push a bit more.
Okay.
Alright, I want to break away from Norris if I can.
Only can use the
Get on the back of these two.
Yeah.
Alright, there we go. There's the gap to Norris. Should be able to hold him back without DRS now. Should gradually start to maybe drop him. Desperately need to try and get some battery into Gasly. Looks like Norris is just going to be able to stay with the pack. So let's just go straight to charge mode then.
Charge on. Charge on.
Copy.
Need to drop the pace.
Okay.
There is the tyre situation for everyone. As Max is going to have another crack at Bottas, gets him just, and Bottas immediately takes the place back. But this scrapping is allowing Gasly to charge up nicely, and is also allowing Russell to stretch the gap without trying as well. Almost 2 seconds now. It'd be nice to get some more battery into Russell's car, but that will cost us a bit too much in terms of lap time.
Let's pick our pace up. Let's go. Covering.
And we have margin to push a little bit.
And now
more
we're just going to leave these tyres on this setting for the rest of the race. Now that we've only got 7 laps to go. Norris is trying to hang on in there. It's going to be tricky trying to get past the pair of these two.
Okay, we need some deploy.
Copy.
Let's see if we can at least get in front of one of them. That'll make it much easier to get the other one. Oh, I thought we were going to sneak up the inside of the pair of them for a second then.
Charge on.
Yeah.
Oh, Schumacher's coming up. Mobile roadblock. This could make things very interesting.
We need to push.
Yeah, did not help us at all.
Okay.
Well, we need to get in front of at least one of these two cars. We're kind of stuck until we can break the DRS effect between the two of them.
Let's go recharge on. Copy.
Okay, 5 laps remaining.
I was hoping he was going to throw it up the inside there. He didn't. Oh, he's going to go around the outside. I can't get either of them. Oh, that's so frustrating. I thought we had that for a second then. I've got to get one of these two. That's it.
Keep an eye on the battery.
Out of battery again.
Charge on.
Yeah.
I'm starting to worry that Gasly's not going to be able to find his way through here.
Four laps remaining.
Okay, we'd like you to slow down, please.
Copy.
These two have been scrapping the entire Grand Prix. And they're just completely getting in my way right now. They're going to have to absolutely just go for it with everything. Full push on the tyres, full battery deploy. And just try and punch past. If I can get past one of them, I can get the next one on the next DRS zone. I've just got to get past one of them. And that is proving extremely hard to do at the moment. Their squabbling is making it very hard to pick through.
Laps to go.
Yep, fine.
So we will go recharge off.
Copy.
Go on up the inside. There we go. Okay, we've got one of them.
Very good job. Need to drop the pace.
Okay.
And a new position, just gained by Williams.
2 laps remaining.
Let's go for a push.
Copy.
There we go, clean as you like. So the hard work's done. Now we just
Good
need
job,
to sprint.
And there's an overtake from Williams.
To break that gap before the they get the chance to close back up again. And before I run out of battery.
Okay, Pierre, we don't have enough battery.
Okay.
There we go.
Try to cool down the tires again when you can. Cool down the tires where you can.
Yeah, copy.
Whew, I was a little worried for a moment then.
Need to drop the pace.
Yeah.
That red flag certainly made things harder. We had it in the bag when the rest of the field were on compromised tyres, but once everybody went onto a new set of softs, that made it very tricky, especially with all that extra fuel and half the battery as well. Well, we've done what we needed to do. A comfortable win in the end for George. Hard fight to get into second place for Gasly. And one where I could have taken more than a lap of fuel out and not done any fuel saving whatsoever and still been fuel positive. The power of hindsight. It's not over between Bottas and Verstappen. They're side by side. This is for the podium.
Okay, and that is the checkered flag.
Oh, Verstappen just edges Bottas, I think.
Let's take a look at the replay. And coming in first, it's George Russell.
Just amazing.
We had a sprint to the line to see who was going to join them on the podium, and Norris was right behind them. He kept pace really well in that closing stint. I'm honestly not sure which driver it is that's got it, because sometimes the timing on the crossing the line doesn't show everything. I mean, it shows they have equal time. I've seen positions switch slightly or the gap be different when we get the final timing, so I get the feeling it's going to be Max that got the position, and it might be a slightly bigger gap than 0, but we shall see.
And here today, George Russell making British motorsport proud. A spot on the podium is
Yeah, it was Max.
exactly what the team deserved, and they got it.
He's a happy-looking boy.
And right now, it's the British driver.
A couple more of those, and it'll be the World Championship trophy he'll be holding up.
For these drivers, they'll be taking home their trophies and a decent haul of points for their team. Williams have got to be happy with their results here. This was good work.
This was thrilling to watch. They've done an excellent job and they deserve all the plaudits.
After an intense weekend, the team ends in first place in the constructor standings.
Next round will see us head east as F1 prepares for the Japanese Grand Prix. We'll see you at Suzuka, a firm favourite for the drivers.
And that's going to be a very interesting last to first challenge. There we go. 18 positions gained for both drivers there. As we start from the back and go all the way to the front. Fastest lap for George Russell. He extends his gap over Pierre by another 8 points. That title's got to be his. It's got to be his. Max does hang on for the podium only just by 0.041, 400ths of a second, separating him from Bottas. Norris with a great race, finishing 5 places up and getting a good haul of points for both himself and McLaren, much needed points. Ferrari, another poor race, Leclerc dropping down 3 places. Sainz recovered well to score a couple of points, but it's not where he needs to be. Terrible race for Ricciardo, down 6 places. Perez, another shocker for him, down 9 places. And then we had the carnage at the back. Porsche, the early retirement, and Tsunoda, Alonso, Zhou and Vasseur all colliding in the tunnel. Schumacher gains 3 places but still finishes nearly 3 laps down, spending most of the race with no front wing. Again, that's a situation that needs to be addressed in the next game. That car should have been retired. If we take a look at the drivers' standings, the gap is now 52 points with 125 points. No, wait, 130 points available if you include fastest laps. So, with a gap that big, George can afford to finish second to Pierre for the rest of the season and still win the title. Let's see. I can't see George losing this title now. Even with 2 retirements, he's still 2 wins and 2 fastest laps ahead of Pierre. And even if Pierre ties it up, he will still be second on countback because he has 6 wins and Russell has 9. So if Russell retires from the next 2 races, Gasly wins them both and gets fastest lap in both, they'll be level on points, but Russell will still be ahead because he'll have had 1 more win across the season. It's a huge advantage for him. Max gains some good points to hang on to 3rd place. He opens up the gap to Leclerc to 20 points now. It's looking like Max is going to be the number 3 driver this season. Leclerc himself does jump his teammate. Very close between the 2 Ferraris, just 2 points in it. Good points for Bottas, closing the gap on Sainz. No points for Perez. Again, another disappointing race for him. Red Bull just haven't been there where you'd expect them to be for most of the season. Good points for Ocon. Very good points for Norris. He really needed those. He's right back up on his former teammate now, just a point behind him. And Magnussen gets himself a point as well. Let's take a look at the Constructors' Championship. Williams, 648 points. More than double Ferrari now. You know, that title's already done and dusted. Can't be caught. You know, so we're already the champions in the Constructors. Can Ferrari hang on to second? They lose 5 points in their fight with Red Bull, but they are still clear by 27 points. That's quite a big margin, considering that effectively they're fighting over 3rd and 4th on track. You know, assuming that we keep our 1-2s. So yeah, it's going to be tough for them to close that gap. I don't think Red Bull have got enough races left to do it, unless Ferrari have an absolute shocker, which is entirely possible. We've seen some very strange results. Mercedes looking pretty good. They're not horrendously far off the pace. Bottas has been good for them this season. Good points for Alpine. Good points for McLaren to try and keep that pressure on and pull them away from Haas. No points for Alfa after a disastrous race where both their drivers were pretty much out of contention after an early collision between the two. Aston Martin again struggling, and AlphaTauri nowhere either. But still, as I said last time out, 30 points for the team in last place. That's a huge tally of points for the team in 10th. So development points for both of our drivers. An impressive race for George. At 13 overtakes, 19 defences, 20 failed overtakes, 3 failed defences. And for Pierre, it's 13 overtakes, 12 defences, 44 failed overtakes, and 2 failed defences. And a good haul of points and a good growth potential still for Ollie Behrman. Keep the sponsors nice and happy. We achieved our targets. Obviously, we didn't achieve the incentive for Q3 because we weren't even trying. So what does that do to the team? Well, let's have a look at our inbox. Top speed could be better compared to the grid. Yes, I'm aware of this. Not much we can do about that, seeing as we're not upgrading this car anymore this season. Board could not be happier. Good. And let's move to the drivers. Ooh, look at that. We've got a wet weekend coming up on Friday when we go to Suzuka. Wet practice on Friday, very wet race on Sunday. That's going to make things very interesting. Right, driver points. Let's allocate another braking point onto George. And let's go with a reaction point for Gasly. So I think those two now are identical in those stats. Identical cornering, identical braking, identical reactions. Yes, they are. Absolutely balanced in those. So in terms of pace, their stats here are identical. This is where things change a little bit. George is a bit more well-rounded in these categories. We do have a point for Ollie to allocate as well. Let's boost his cornering again. Really can't wait to get him in the car at some point next season. Staff, do we have any points? No, we are a point away from Diego Tondi, so we won't get that till after Japan. Let's take a look at facilities. We have a boardroom upgrade going through, a weather center upgrade, scouting department, and a factory upgrade. CFD simulator is about to break. I've got all this spare cash. Oh, it's not enough. Don't have enough to upgrade that yet. Okay, one more race needed for that. Staff facilities, everything's looking okay here. Operationally, hospitality's fine, helipad's fine. Memorabilia and tour center. Tour center is getting close to breaking. That's okay. Let's take a look at spare parts. Do I need to make any for the next Grand Prix? I could probably do with making a couple more front wings. I've only got 3 left. That's 1 spare. Everything else is okay. So let's go ahead and manufacture more front wings. Let's go ahead and make 2 more of those. We'll rush those so we get both of them in time for the Grand Prix. There we go. And that's where we're going to end it for tonight. So, yeah, an interesting race. I would prefer that we didn't get the red flag. I think that changed the dynamic of the race a little bit. The safety car really helped us by eliminating the gap and bringing us right into contention with better tyres. It would have been a much easier victory for us had that red flag not happened and then everybody dived in for fresh softs. But we fought through. We still got the 1-2. Suzuka is going to be very tricky to do that, especially with a wet race. Changeable conditions. Our car is not the fastest, as you can see. We've got very, very good cornering still, which obviously is going to help us, especially through that first sector at Suzuka. The high-speed S's is going to be very, very good for us there. Yeah, the back straights going through 130R onto the start-finish straight, those are going to be weaker areas for us. Our top speed not the greatest. And of course, we may yet see some movements. We may see some cars bring upgrades for the next Grand Prix or two as well. So the advantage that we have with our car is only going to get smaller and maybe even disappear completely before the end of the season. We shall have to see. Tomorrow we'll be back with challenge mode, and I think we go to Monza, if I remember right. Pretty sure it's Monza with our Aston Martin file. We'll be back on Friday with the Williams team. So until then, thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more F1 Manager very soon.